Jennifer's book, and Jennifer became a real source. And the main thing was that she was, as a writer, somebody very supportive of poetic license, very understanding of poetic license. And so I never felt that it was being forced back into the structure of the book. I think it always was a conversation where, you know, she was able to help me solve the fictional problems with what the underlying reality, and in many cases, just, you know, using the reality or using something metaphorically similar. Yeah, she just became a partner. It's just the grain and color you get with Super 16. It fits the aesthetic that pleases this audience, you know, and pleases this audience for this movie. For what I saw in my head, it had to have that texture. And I think that along with all the other things that, you know, again, I say cautiously, but feel like a wealth of contrivance in cinema today, part of that is the plasticine look of so many things that are shot digitally. And, you know, and I think there are times, and there have been some beautifully shot movies digitally. I did it once and regretted it. I really regretted it. I don't trust it. I trust film. He is just so endlessly watchable. And so, again, another truth machine. And so it was a natural thing to ask him to, you know, we just said, fuck it, this is going to end up being a family affair, let's do it. And yeah, and yes, they are very, very different. In another world, it would have been really interesting to get deeper into the relationship between the brother and sister. But in this case, we were so focused on the father-daughter relationship that, you know, I'm just glad that Hopper was willing to come in and, you know, give us some little gem moments. What I was looking for this movie, the minute some of these people came in the room, I knew it wasn't going to work. Something different. And Katheryn came up on a list, and I thought, like, you know, if she wants to come in, have her come in. And in her case, before we spoke, as I saw her walk in the room, I thought, I think I'm going to cast her. There was this feeling of something just right, and I was so glad that I did, because she was her behavior is just not acty to me, and she's a very disciplined, you know, hard worker, really takes the job seriously, and was so trusting and willing to try anything. I had never worked with a more responsive, inventive, or diligent wardrobe designer than Patty. She, and not only in working with me, but with each of the actors. You know, I would get giggles. When I'm giggling, I know I like something, you know, and I would get giggles a lot when I would see some of the things. And also, it takes so much pressure off you once you learn to trust in one of your key crew members, where, you know before they walk in the door, you're going to approve this outfit, and it might just be something that's so much better than what you had in mind, and so on. So yeah, she was great. And Craig Sandals, boy, I felt that we had a really great shorthand. I think that he understood my aesthetic very well, very quickly. And so that was, yeah, those were two very key people on that crew. I think that the goal of a movie, whether it's a painful story, a triumphant story, The only value a movie can have is that when people leave the theater, they feel less alone in whatever it is. And, so far, with the very limited people who have seen this movie, I think that there's, I have found some very genuine responses to it that make me feel like, that we did something good. Among the great singers, the voice that would be, how my soul would be represented if I could sing, is Eddie Vedder's. And so the first thing I thought after, the first thing I think when I'm thinking about directing any movie at this stage is, where's Eddie's place in this and would he do it? That's the girl I fell in love with, is going into a dark movie theater with strangers and seeing that's cinema. That's the girl I fell in love with. And, I can be an extreme like with, I might even be in some lust with, some fantastic stuff that, is streaming. There's brilliant writers and brilliant actors doing brilliant things. Sometimes I don't even know how the hell they do what they do. But I don't want to marry them, and I want to marry a movie, a movie in a movie theater. And, I might be having to count myself, I do count myself extremely lucky to have this movie released theatrically, exclusively theatrically for a time. But I also may have to count myself very lucky that I, had a chance when the chance was there.